This week, we're breaking down why a Dragon Ball Z-inspired Superman variant is flying off the shelves at $40.
We're diving into the wild 32-year run of a tabletop RPG adaptation.
And we're spotlighting underrated Golden Age patriotism with the Black Terror. Richard, why has it got to be black? It's Bronze and Modern Gods. Richard, how's it going, buddy?
I am doing great.
Me too. And thanks, everybody, for following us on Facebook and Instagram at Bronze and Modern Gods. Got a bunch of new followers. We're all in our groove here as we talk about our favorite music we're listening to, the soundtrack of the week. Richard, Joe Jackson, Night and Day.
Yeah, I love Joe Jackson.
You a fan? Stepping Out?
Yes.
Breaking Us in Two, maybe? A little follow-up action?
What was the other Joe Jackson? The big...
You don't know what you want. That's the other album. But Night and Day is Breaking Us in Two, and Real Men, which is really presaged a lot of incel conversation before 40 years prior. One of the underrated tracks on this record, Night and Day, is Cancer, where everything gives you cancer. It's the chorus.
God, that's terrible.
It's a fun salsa song too, or a samba beat. Joe Jackson, Night and Day, not as new wavy as his early stuff. Oh, you thinking of Is She Really Going Out with Him?
I am. I did think of that one. Yeah.
That's the early new wave. This is the sophisticated New York City at night, Joe Jackson.
Yeah, he did have different aspects to him, just like Elvis Costello kind of changed over time.
A definite pivot. If you've never listened to Night and Day, do yourself a favor. Enjoy it. It's good driving music. It keeps you from speeding. Yes. Hot book of the week. Richard, I saw this in the solicitations and I thought, yeah, I better order a few of these because I just know it was going to be hot. And here we are.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's Superman number 34 just came out. This is the Mario Foccillo. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his name.
I would say Fuccillo, yeah.
Fuccillo, okay. The double L's are a Y sound. I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a takeoff on the character Bolly from Dragon Ball Z. Are you a Dragon Ball Z fan?
I am not, but luckily I am sharing the household with someone who was able to tell me who this is supposed to be giving homage to. I would have not known a Bolly from Bali, the champagne.
No, this is not something that's in my wheelhouse, but I could see, looking at this cover, for those listening to the podcast, it's a roided out Superman in a kind of manga style with Japanese letters at the top of it. He's screaming at the top of his lungs. Definitely a Dragon Ball Z influenced character.
This just came out, literally just came out. It's already selling on eBay anywhere from $27 to $41. This is one of those cardboard variant covers, the cardstock variants. Crazy. I guess, sell. DC is doing so much better at this kind of cross branding than Marvel is doing. And their covers, their cardboard covers, just their covers in general, the quality of the paper is just leagues better than what Marvel's putting out. You and I keep saying cardboard, and we do mean cardstock.
Right.
We're not dumb, everybody. We're just misstating it. Can we give Nick Barucci and Dynamite Comics a little bit of credit for starting this crossover trend between companies? They kind of did it first, right?
Yeah, you're right. And they did a great job at it. And I think their success is the reason why we're seeing DC lean so hard into this.
100%. But, my advice to you, if you got a copy, throw it up now, sell it. Don't sit on it because, it may come back, 4 years from now, someone leaves a comment. Oh, you said sell this book and it's $1,000 now.
Well, save it for 25 years and then, sell it then.
Oh, it's not time yet, Richard. That's next week. It's 25-year-old.
Sorry.
It is time for us to switch screens for a little bit of show and tell. Before we get into show and tell, Richard, all right, this month's Foxhole report. If you're new here, this Foxhole is a book that came out in the 50s from Simon and Kirby, and it's a war book, and it's fairly scarce, just classic iconic covers, and it's something that I have collected, and I'm missing one issue for a complete run. But I've always kind of tracked Foxhole because it's such an in-demand book and so scarce, I've been kind of tracking it to see how many people are giving up their collections or selling and, aging out. We've talked about that a lot on this podcast. This week, I was amazed to find, and I sent this to Richard, texted him during the week, 5 copies of Foxhole #1 are currently on eBay.
That is amazing.
That's insane, isn't it?
That is. That's like 5 copies of Venus 18 just amazingly appearing on eBay.
And they're all over the place in range of price and in grade. But I know we saw one for sure at Cal Comic Con last week on a wall. Did we see 2 or was it a different issue?
I think it was a different issue.
Okay.
One of this.
Foxholes are crawling out of the foxholes. I don't know what this means. It's just something to notice. Actual sold copies. Looked at that. There's been 1 sold copy in the last 6 months, and that was on January 9th for a 3.0 creamed off-white for $1,940, which is about right.
Yeah, I feel that's a fair price.
But 1 selling with 5 up currently is not a good selling ratio.
No. I wonder if that 1 selling prompted the other books to be listed, since people realized that there was still a market for those books, trying to capitalize on that 1 sale.
Entirely possible. I'm waiting for my number 5 to show up in a decent condition that I want before pulling the trigger. Now I don't feel the pressure to buy it as soon as it comes up because, is it a race to the bottom? You guys let us know in the comments what you think. This is a sample of 1. I totally realize that. There's a sample of 1. So don't quote us on this. It's just something we've noticed. All right, so let's move over to show and tell. I don't have any theme this week, just some fun books I have. I've shown this on the members only live stream a few months ago when I got it. So I thought I'd show it for the group now, the larger group. Got it from our friend Yakuza Doc during his live sale a couple months ago, talking about selling off collections.
Yeah.
Partridge Family #1 and an 8.0. Hey, that's like a 9.9 for Charlton.
That sure is.
Come on, world. It's a song that we're singing. Come on, get happy. Look at that.
Get happy. Anybody of a certain age can rattle off that whole theme song.
The cover is bugging me. Did they only have a black and white promo shot that they could use? They couldn't reproduce a color shot?
Yeah, they had the plates for color anyway. I don't know why they just didn't make a color image.
When it comes to prefab groups, Partridge Family, you're no monkeys. I'm just saying that. All right.
They were cut rate monkeys, if you ask me.
But great songs. Help me or point me in the direction of Albuquerque, the best song about a teenage runaway. Asking strangers for help. You could do that in the 70s. You could run away and end up at a bus station and go up to a stranger and say, point me in the direction of Albuquerque. And they wouldn't kidnap you and beat you into submission. They would actually help you. This took a dark turn really quick.
A little bit.
You better show a book.
Okay. I'm going to go a little different tack. Here's a book that got this when I was buying books at Carol and John's, which is a local comic book store. It is Origin of Marvel Comics.
What the heck is that?
It's a variant cover. I was praying that you would know what the hell this is. This is a variant, and I'm assuming of some. There are all different. For those who are listening on the podcast, there are anthropomorphic animal characters for. You've got Thor, you've got the Hulk, you've got the Thing, Spider-Man, and the Human Torch. Yeah, but what it really is, it's a reprint book of #1. So you've got Fantastic Four #1, Avengers 1, X-Men 1, and AF-15. So in this one book, you've got all of the heavy hitters from the early Marvel superhero lines. So you get to read all of those origin stories for these amazing characters. And this I got for a total of $4 at Carol and John. Yeah. The cover is whack, and I was hoping that you would be able to shed some light on it because I don't recognize it. It's from 2019, I believe, is when this is from.
Who drew it? Is there a signature or anything? Is it a name or something, or is it?
Does not have a name on it.
Yeah, I'm being very careful after our Sal Buscema discussion.
Yeah. Let's not put someone else in jeopardy.
So that's apparently a Chrissy Zulo variant. And
by the way, yes, 2023, not 2019.
Yeah, she says her influences are Winsor McKay, okay, Adam Hughes, Travis Charest. I'm not getting any of that from this.
No, I'm not either.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is it's just reprints of the original stories from our friend Mr. Kirby. It's on slip paper, and I don't know, some kind of visceral dislike of reprinting newsprint on slick white paper. It just doesn't look right.
I never liked it either.
But that's what you get, and when you get a chance to read all the original stories, and I think that's great especially for younger fans who don't want to drop $6,000 on a Fantastic Four #1, and don't want to pick up one of the other reprints. This is a nice inexpensive reprint you can buy and be able to read 4 different titles right here.
Just maybe get a different cover.
Yeah. sorry
Taste is subjective. Everybody.
It is subjective.
Richard, it's been a long time coming. Talked about this on the show before, shown it, screen grabs, never physically seen a copy before. I've been looking for maybe 4 years for a copy of this book from Charlton. It's 2 Charltons in a row. Just Married, number 106.
Yes.
For those of you on the podcast,
describe it, please, for the podcast listeners.
It is your typical Charlton romance cover from the 70s with a couple embracing in a doorway, stands another man looking on jealously. A man with no shirt on, his hairy chest ablaze with a leather vest and leather almost assless chaps. This is a book from 1973 on the newsstand, 74 rather. You look at the cover and you're like, oh, is he jealous of her or of him? It is that Enrique Nieto, who you've heard me talk about before. It is his cover. He does the interior story. The interior story is, wow. Again, it's got a Comics Code stamp. I don't know if they actually reviewed it. He's slapping her around, ordering her. I mean, like physically assaulting her. It's
my goodness,
crazy, nuts, cuckoo. Of course, I got it for the cover because it's just so campy and hilarious. So the quest is over, Richard.
I love it.
I have my copy.
You can go for that Rifleman #5.
Yeah, I know. Just Married, number 108. I think I said 106. 108 is if you're looking for one.
Awesome. I'm so glad you found that because I know you've been looking for it forever.
Are you really? What do you have next?
Okay. For our show and tell, for our members only show, and if you're not a member, we'd love to have you as a member. We do a show every Thursday for about an hour and a half. Our special guest had a Black History Month special where he showed a whole collection of Black history comic books, and so I grabbed a couple here. And this, I don't know where I got it from. I'm assuming you, because it's Spanish or Mexican. It's a 3-pack of Lando Calrissian comics. From, from Panini. So these are all Mexican variants. You see on the back. You see the.
I've seen those pre-packs from Panini a lot in Mexico when we go down, but that didn't come from me. So I don't know where you got that.
Okay. I don't either. And it's now it's a mystery as to where I got this from. But so that's one. I also have King of in Black, which is another.
Does that count?
Well, yeah. Well, it's the theme.
He's looking pretty
let's see.
white there.
I thought I had another one. I do not. Those are the only two that I pulled.
All right, everyone.
Thank you, Dina, by the way, for the wonderful.
Yeah, Dean was great.
He pulled
brace
out so
yourself.
many books in a row. And John, you shared that with everyone. His
Yeah, you guys will see it on the channel, so check it out. We made that segment live for everyone. Brace yourselves. All right. Not only did I get that Just Married 108 that I've been looking for forever, got a couple of eBay acquisitions over the last week, which was funny because the stuff I was looking for at Cal Comic Con, I couldn't find there, but I found them on eBay fairly cheap. Stuff I've been looking for forever. It is the return of the Doll Man Bondage cover of the week.
I love it. I love the scale. I'm confused about here. For those listening, it's our buddy Doll Man, and he's in his favorite position, which is tied up. He's in somebody's hand, and he's dropping them into a crowd. But a crowd.
These are the puppets. The puppet underworld.
Okay, that makes
Feature Comics number 134, featuring Doll Man as he breaks up the puppet underworld. It looks like he's getting ready to be a pass around Sally.
Oh, it's like the X-rated Toy Story.
It's G-rated.
All right, R-rated. We'll say R-rated.
G for gay as hell. Feature Comics 134. I think this leaves me with two more.
Oh wow.
Two more Doll Man Bondage covers, and I'm done. Now, to be fair, one of them I'm counting as a Doll Man Bondage cover, but Doll Girl is actually in bondage on the cover. But it's a Doll Man comic book with bondage on the cover, so I'm counting it.
And you had that in your hand.
I did, but that one was like a 1.8 or a 1.0. It was a mess. I cannot have such things in my pristine collection, Richard. How dare you?
Will not sully my collection.
Exactly. What do you got?
Next, I have some funny animal books, and we talked. The cover that I showed for.
What happened to us collecting superhero comics?
Yeah, that seems to have gone out the window. These are albedos. I got a collection of albedos. Here's albedo number 10. Here's number 9, and oops, I went the wrong way. And here is a number 12. For those who don't know, albedo number 2 is the first appearance of Usagi Yojimbo, and is a very valuable book. Number 3 also is kind of expensive because it's the second appearance. He's on the back cover of that book. So if you want, you have comics adjacent to expensive books. these are good. The albedo stories are funny animals, but they're very political storyline. It's a very science fiction storyline about a royal family and their troubles. It is interesting, and I don't know if I would recommend it as a great read, but if you like political intrigue, it's an interesting read. And to go along with it, I also picked out, here we've got Critters number 11 to match the snow that we have here in Ohio. That is beautiful. You got some kind of snowmobile with Santa and a reindeer here. Just a great cover. And it's in pretty good nick.
It's funny to figure that book was to remember that book was published by Fantagraphics. Can we give Richard some credit? Albedo number 2, First Usagi, a book that Richard has lusted for years now. We saw an 8.0 slab last weekend at Cal Comic Con, and Richard said, I don't even need to see it. No, thank you. I'm going to walk right past it.
No, because I knew it was going to go for more than I was willing to spend.
I'm giving you credit for good financial self-control.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Then he bought a Mexican Spider-Man in a back alley somewhere. But
yeah, I did. But it was a fraction of what I would have had to spend for that albedo, though.
Yes. Watch for last week's show for information on that. Richard mentioned being a member. If you want to do that, you can do that here on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, just hit join next to the subscribe button for a low monthly price, less than that copy of Critters when it came out that Richard just showed. You get exclusive live member only streams, extra show and tell, shout outs like this. You see your name, zoom, there it goes. And Richard and I get to do more shows. We're really trying to make Heroes Con happen this year. No empty talk. We're really trying to make it happen. Just hit join next to the subscribe button below. Now, this week's live stream, members, it's supposed to be on Thursday. I have work Thursday night. I have an event I have to be at. So I got to get with Richard. We're going to try to squeeze in a different time and day. We're going to make it happen. I hope. So make sure you have your notifications turned on. How's that for a heads up?
Yep. We'll make it work.
All right. Viewer mail is here.
You've got
Look at
mail.
this viewer mail bag. Starting with Ralph's Retro Comics, a channel I quite enjoy. If you're not subscribed to Ralph's Retro Comics, you might want to correct that. Great pickups. I cannot believe you passed on the Blackhawk #9, John. Seems like a really good price for that book as well. Yeah, last week I talked about holding the Blackhawk #9 is the first issue. It started with issue 9, like a lot of 40s books. The numbering just is all over the place. And it was a decent 3.0, 3.5 copy for $350. And our friend Ron had it, I believe. I looked at it, I held it, I walked away. I was quite happy with myself, proud of myself, no regrets. And then I read this comment from Ralph, and I was like, why did I leave that book? What's wrong with me? Ron, are you listening? Email me, DM me. Yeah, make something happen.
Oh, see, it's FOMO there. Yeah, you missed out.
I know, but it is, I'm not one of those people that buys books for the show. I'm really not, but it would be cool to have for the show.
It would. That's kind of what I focus on now, are those special books as opposed to just yet more inventory. I want special books.
I know. What do you have? What's your first piece of your?
Speaking of special books, Nick Beatty, 1969. Sounds like one of our kind of people.
Yes.
Saw 3 of my favorite in the video. I'm talking about our walk around California Comic-Con last week. Black Cat 50, awesome book. Tomb of Terror 15, amazing book. And Mr. Mystery 12. This had to be in our buddy Nico's booth, who was in the back of the venue.
Yep.
And he had not only those, but he also had an amazing Captain America book that John got to hold and get photographed with. Amazing stuff at his booth. And Black Cat 50 is on my short list of books. If I had more money, I would buy. And Mystery 12 also is an amazing book. There's some amazing Golden Age books that are just out of reach, but I will covet and admire them when I see them.
Let's have fun with Richard, everybody. Richard, Albedo 2 or Black Cat 50?
Black Cat 50.
Whoa, that wasn't even a hesitation.
Not a hesitation. I really appreciate that cover, and I feel there are alternatives to Albedo. There really aren't any alternatives to Black Cat 50.
Fantastic Four #5 or Black Cat 50?
Oh, Black Cat 50 still.
Wow. All right.
Silver Age books are I don't want to say a dime a dozen there, because they're not. But they're more common than some of the Golden Age rarities like Black Hat 50.
They're $1 a dozen, Richard. All the way from Amsterdam comes our friend Rim Adervane, and he says, hello, B&M gods. Reading Mark Evanier's blog about Sal Buscema's demise made me sad. He's always been one of my favorite artists, storytellers. His clear and crisp style always served the story in a way you hardly see anymore. I really like the fact that he was capable and willing to stay on a series for a long run. For example, The Defenders, The Hulk, Marvel Team-Up, Spectacular Spider-Man, and Rom come to mind, without missing an issue. He did one of my favorite covers of all time, Avengers 71. Yes. On the subject of his inkers, I want to remind you of the 4 issues of Marvel Team-Up, issues 82 through 85, that were inked by Steve Leola. Great stuff. Rim, you are absolutely right. I'm beating myself up a bit about saying stuff about Sal the weeks before he passed away, but play back the tape, everyone. I say Sal is great when he is
Mhm.
paired with the appropriate inker. He was not served by a lot of inkers in the 70s. Your Jack Abels, your Mike Espositos. When he had someone that Sal was a workhorse. He did breakdowns, he was laying out pages. He wasn't putting in the spotting the blacks or the backgrounds or the cross hatching. That's up to the inker. And some inkers are just like, I got to get these pages out. So yeah, thanks for writing in, Rim. And hopefully we will remember Sal for a great run on Captain America too, as someone who grew up with, Sal followed by Frank Robbins on Captain America. Followed by Jack Kirby. I mean, I was a pig in that, what. Richard, what do you got?
My next piece is from Mr. Digit, and he says, talking again about California Comic Con, looks like a good con. It absolutely was. I can tell you guys collect different stuff than me,
You don't
but
say.
but I could tell from the video the stuff was there. I want to. I have dealt with several of the dealers before, and they have good books. Like the emphasis on the comics.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a great show because it is pretty much exclusively comics. There are some original art, and they were relegated to one little section for the most part. But it was pretty much all comics. And Mr. J, just share in the comments, what are you interested in? What kind of books are you interested in? What I kind of look at it. Some people collect certain things. For example, John is big into romance. Other people collect other stuff. I like some of the more spicy books, and it depends on your particular taste what you collect. So yeah, share in your notes in the comments and let us know what you like.
We didn't talk about the artists they had there as guests. Howard Chaykin was there. Al Milgrom was there. David Mack was there. So is definitely a show for the comic book collector. If you're looking for cosplay and sci-fi and other stuff, no, this is not your show.
Right.
This is for grumpy old men.
We built that bill.
Disposable income. I picked this not only for the content, I picked it for the member's name or the viewer's name, which is made me laugh for far longer than it should have. This next viewer mail comes from Vince Neil Armstrong. Motley Crue goes to the moon.
Yeah.
Talking about the CBCS. We were raving about the slabs still. Concur. I'm sad about the CBCS stuff. They finally got things right, had a better product than CGC. And I guess I'm a PSA guy now. Well, Vince, we hear you. We held the PSA slabs in our hands last week. We talked to a dealer who shall remain anonymous because we did not ask permission if we could repeat what he was saying, but he experimented quite a bit with PSA slabs. And Richard, what was his verdict?
I don't remember.
He did not care for them.
Okay.
The size, the weight.
They were heavy. I remember those things were incredibly heavy. And there was, a concern that they were a little oversized as well, if I remember correctly.
They're a tank. You want your book to be protected? Here you go. Good luck getting into this thing. But, for shipping, for someone that deals and sells, that weight is really a factor because it eats into your margin. Number two, they're just plain ugly. Sorry.
Yeah, they're very utilitarian. They are tanks. I mean, in terms of durability, I think they are, top notch. But that's not necessary in every case, and not everyone not everybody gets their book slabbed for the protection. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
Unless you're Evan. What is your last piece of viewer mail?
All right, my last piece is our buddy Jay Huda says, "Nice books, guys. What I need to know is that a Tissot PRX, Richard." Okay, for those who don't know, I am a watch guy as well as a comic book guy, as well as a car guy and a computer guy. Basically, complex machines I love. Okay, so what he's talking about is one of the 3 watches I typically wear. This is a Tissot PRX. It's a nice automatic watch. It's about $800 new, $750, something on those lines. It is it is just a great watch. It's a beautiful watch on a nice band, automatic movement. So you'll see this on my wrist, or going up in price. I have a Youngans, a Yugen. I'm sorry if you pronounce it. This is a Max Bill. This is a quartz watch, but it's also atomic. In other words, it listens for the atomic clock. That there's 2 atomic clocks in the United States, and it will sync itself to the atomic clock, so it's always telling the right time. It always has the right date. It's also solar powered, so I never have to. There's obviously just no winding, but there's no batteries to it. This one is a little bit more expensive, about $1,100 I paid for this. This is also a watch I wear all the time because it's just a fire and forget. Put it on your wrist. If you put it away for a while, it will save batteries, and you put it on and it will automatically set the time. It's just awesome.
Atomic.
And the last one is my Tudor Pelagos. This is a tank too. It's a dive watch, which I'll never go diving, so that really isn't important. I just like the looks of it. I just don't want to spend the money for a Rolex because that's nuts. But it is still expensive. This is probably the most expensive watch I own right now. It's about $5,000 retail. But it's another watch I wear all the time. So you'll see one of these 3 watches on my wrist, or my Apple Watch rarely. And I have a few other ones, but these are my go-to watches. So I hope that answers the
segment, Watch Talk with Richard.
Well, that people have come up to me and asked me about my watches at different shows, and
there's a Venn diagram in there somewhere, I'm sure.
There is. That's the intersection of different hobbies.
I've worn watches twice in my life.
Really?
When Swatch watches were popular in the 80s, I was a big Swatch watch guy, and I would wear 3 or 4 at the same time, a la Madonna.
Oh, man.
And then I never wore watches for the longest time till the Apple Watch came along, and I am a sucker for. By the way, that's, in case you were wondering, that is Snoopy. Oh, jeez, that is Snoopy studying.
Yeah.
It's a different animation every time you make it come back. So
great watch. Love Apple Watches. I just prefer mechanical watches.
I never wear a watch. Oh, you know what time it is, Richard?
What time is it?
It's time to go back to 1986. So hop in your TARDIS. Wonder what kind of, is a TARDIS a Rolex powered? Is that atomic powered? Is that
it's something powered?
Hey, it's the old fart rule. We can sit all day and try to make this segue work, or we can just roll on with it. Richard, are you excited about Champions #1? Yes, Hercules, Black Widow.
I expected that at first, but you were talking about something completely different.
Oh my goodness, it's Champions #1 from Eclipse Comics 1986, based on the popular role-playing game of the same name. Before Marvel superheroes launched their role-playing game, before DC and Mayfair launched their game, we had to live with Champions. What was the other one? Capes and Crusaders? I think that was the other one.
Yep, there was something in Villains too. I can't remember the other one.
Yeah. This adapts characters from the Champions superhero role-playing game published by Hero Games. This is the comic that brought us characters like Flare, Ice Star, Giant, previously named Goliath until Marvel got involved, Marksman, and Rose into print. This series is one of the first mainstream attempts to translate that tabletop RPG content into a superhero comic narrative, and it predates many later licensed adaptations. Written by Dennis Maloney, pencils and inks by underground artist Carol Lay, of all people. She's cashing the check here. She wants to pay that rent. This series was a 6-issue limited series. It ran from 86 to 87 under Eclipse before popping over to, guess what? Heroic Publishing. They got into publishing in 87. The team originally appeared in the Champions role-playing game as an example superhero group. Their leap into comics helped establish the League of Champions continuity that would continue under Heroic Publishing for many years. The series was revived in 2005, ran until 2018, Richard.
Wow.
But you know why it ran so long to 2018? They pivoted to a different type of cover art. What is this?
Wow. Okay. That is a different type of cover art, definitely.
Let's just say the focus shifted downward.
Yeah.
That's a pretty crazy run, though, from 1986 to 2018 with some time off in between.
Yeah. Oh, and I love the universe that was created for the RPG. It was maybe because it was 1986 and I was big into Dungeons and Dragons, and this was a way of playing a Dungeons and Dragon kind of role play thing, but with superheroes. And it
It's
was
all we had. Yeah.
yeah, and it was technical and detailed. You spent points to buy powers, and then
Mhm.
you got extra points if you got flaws to go along with those powers. So people had weaknesses, and it was just a neat system. Rolling just six-sided dice. You didn't have to have weird dice to be able to play the game.
No.
It was fun. It was a fun game, and to see it translated into actual comics was just my dream. I just wish that the characters had a little bit more depth to them, and I think maybe it would have run longer in that first run. Of course, we can see why the second run was was a long run, but no, this brings back a lot of memories for me.
67 issues total from 86 to 2018. Issue one will run you a whopping $3 to $5. Did you read this when it was out the day?
I did. I
Yeah.
did. I at least read the first few issues, and it was cool. It was like I said, if you played the tabletop game, you were invested in the characters because you knew their stats and you knew their powers, you knew their weaknesses, and it was really cool to see those characters come to quote unquote life in a comic book.
One thing I particularly personally remember about this series is the trademark and legal struggles and push and pull and back and forth between Heroic and Marvel over the name Champions. For the longest time, Heroic owned that trademark, even though Marvel had published a Champion series in the 70s. They weren't using the trademark, so Heroic jumped in, kind of claimed it for a long time. I wonder in 2018, because that's around the time the Champions, Marvel Champions started, the new one with Miles and everybody.
Mhm.
I wonder if they finally just asserted their rights and they're like, look, this is our trademark. You're going to have to take a flyer. Anybody know? Let us know in the comments, please. Richard, let's move over to our underrated books of the week. What do you have here?
All right. For underrated books this week, I picked a book from 1943, The Black Terror, #1.
Super affordable for you if you're
Super affordable. I picked this because, first of all, let me get into it a little bit. The Black Terror is this character as you see here on the cover. He wears an all black uniform with a cape and a small mask and a big skull and crossbones on his chest, and he fights Nazis. Which is just back in 1943, World War II is at its peak, and you had a lot of patriotic characters who fought the enemies of the United States. So against the Japanese and the Germans, these superheroes would do battle, and of course, win for for the American way. Black Terror was a pharmacist who mixed special chemicals that gave him superpowers, and it was he had a sidekick as well. I can't remember his name at this point, but
Terry.
Terry.
I'm kidding. Black Terror and Terry.
uh, but it was a very popular book back in the 40s, again because you had people beating those enemies up, and it's the main reason I picked this book. I've always been interested in this character. I just found out that he is in public domain.
Yes.
So if um, we ever wanted to publish a comic book, we could do a Black Terror comic book, and it's people have done it. People have published, and most recently there is a Black Terror series that ran. I believe it was in 2019. Don't quote me exactly. That I have a couple issues of, but being a public domain character and having this backstory to him, I think it's an interesting opportunity for someone to actually take a character with, to me, one of the coolest costumes ever. You can't get any more simple than this: a black leotard and a skull and crossbone on your chest. I mean, that's just awesome.
I think our aforementioned friends at Dynamite published a Black Terror series.
That's where, yes, you're 100% right.
Covers.
Mhm. That's where that's where I bought it, was from Dynamite. So yeah, and now John was talking about affordability. This is not a cheap book. 1.5 sold back in 2023 for $500.
Hmm.
Yeah, more realistically, this past, not this January, but January 2025, a 5.5 sold for about $3,700, which is, it's not cheap, but I think it's a sign that golden age books have a longevity to them. The numbers that these sell are small. In each of the grade and GPAs, there's only a single book in most of the grades for sales, so it's not a very common book. So if you come across one, and especially at a reasonable price, pick it up, because I think it's going to appreciate in value.
Hey, our Kickstarter, Richard. People are asking us when we're going to do a book. Here, all right, here's my pitch. Black Terror. We race swap. He's actual black man, the Black Terror, who asserts its Second Amendment rights with open carry, walking around cities.
Oh my, that would be, strangely enough, that is awesome.
We've got it, everyone.
We can make it work.
My underrated book this week is a book that I loved as a kid. I could never find it on the newsstand. I always got hand-me-down copies from my cousins and my extended family. It is Plop, #1 from DC Comics, 1973. Plop was the bi-monthly DC Comics weird humor anthology. They launched it in September of 73 with first issue alone, Richard. For one issue, one copy of the first issue of Plop will give you a Basil Wolverton cover, Sergio Aragone's art, and a Bernie Wrightson story, all within issue 1. Come on. Overseen by longtime DC editor Joe Orlando, it was conceived as an offbeat companion to other humor and satire comics of the era. Think Mad Magazine with gothic horror. Look at the cover by Basil Wolverton, Armstrong. It gives it, all these covers. It starts off with Basil Wolverton covers, then it goes to Wally Wood covers. Always had like kind of a Garbage Pail Kids kind of different character. It's just beautiful stuff. Raw copies in typical Bronze Age condition, fine to very fine, around $8 to $26 on Plop #1. No one seems to really hone in on a acceptable price for mid-range copies of Plop, but high-end graded copies, a CGC 9.6 sells for about $150, and a CGC 9.8, 90-day average is $250. Seems low.
Yeah, I have a high grade copy. I have, if I was to slab again, I may eye it, because this is also a childhood book of mine. I remember Plop. So I found a great copy for a reasonable price. So it's awesome. Awesome pick.
Yeah, $250. Like my boss used to say at my old job when we were giving quotes, he would go, "Sounds low." I don't know what this meant. If it sounds low, why are you putting your finger in the air like you're trying to gauge the temperature?
The wind. The winds are blowing.
Yeah. Okay. Feels low then. Doesn't sound low. Yeah. Plop #1. Oh, we were talking about that. It sits outside the usual superhero canon, but its blend of humor and horror from artists usually associated with more mainstream horror titles makes it a fascinating artifact of the Bronze Age experimentation. And it's pretty accessible if you're looking for a really important Bronze Age #1. Never reprinted.
That's amazing.
Now, issue 1, let me caveat that. The entire series of Plop has never been reprinted in a trade paperback or an omnibus. Issue 1 did have a DC Millennium edition. Okay. So they have done that. But I'm surprised this collection, I wonder if there was some sort of creator rights thing with this, because they may have had a different deal because they were really trying for a bigger audience with this. So always want Paul Levitz. Are you out there? Why hasn't this been reprinted?
you know, you and I share so much in terms of our collection interests, and this is one of those books that if you grew up in the period, you know, it's on your radar, and I think it's like I said, a great pick.
Maybe it was a Northeast Ohio thing. You had to have that sort of sense of humor to appreciate it. Another funny story about Plop that I can remember from the back of my head, in one of the fanzines, maybe The Amazing World of DC, they remember the DC comic mobile they used to advertise, where it was a literal van that drove around major cities and sold comic books. Yeah, look at the white van with candy, kids, come on in.
Wouldn't fly today, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, Plop was the best-selling title from the DC comic mobile, and that's what kept it alive a lot longer than it should have, because they knew kids were buying it when they could find it. It was a matter of distribution and getting it in the right place. Like I said, I never saw on the newsstand when I was a kid. My cousins Jackie and Dan would give me their hand-me-downs. So, you know, what could have been, I guess, if they had worked out distribution, we might still be on a Plop issue 480 today or something. If only. Do you remember how every issue of Plop used to end?
No, I don't. Not at this point.
Cain, Abel, and Eve would be hosting, you know, and introducing all the stories throughout the book. And then the last page, something would fall on them and crush them. Plop. Yeah. All right, members, make sure you have notifications turned on. We're going to try to squeeze in a live show this week, the best we can. Hopefully we can make it happen. And everyone else, we will catch you on Monday.
Everybody, stay safe.